The left-wing gender insanity being pushed on our children is an act of child abuse. Here's my plan to stop the chemical, physical, and emotional mutilation of our youth.
Yes, finally. After listening to 2 years of this woke BS coming from this Joe Biden administration, we finally have some sanity being injected into our reality from our true president, our real president, Donald J. Trump. Let's go ahead and get into this. How is everybody doing today? And welcome back to Right IQ. Thank you for joining me today. And before I get into this next topic with Donald J. Trump, let me go ahead and remind you folks that if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. That way you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. And if you want to go ahead and trigger the algorithm so we get more view, more play on YouTube, hit that like button. And don't forget to leave a comment. And one more thing, if you have not subscribed to my Rumble channel yet, go ahead and do that, because there's a lot of content that I'm going to be putting on that Rumble channel that I cannot put over here on YouTube because they're already taking videos off. I have no idea why they're taking videos off, but they're doing it. For some reason they say that it doesn't meet their terms of service or something like that. Whatever. I don't even care. Just go over and if you don't want to miss any videos, make sure you go over there to Rumble and make sure that you hit that subscribe button so that way you don't miss anything. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this Donald J. Trump video that we're talking about here. And so what he's been doing is he's been putting out small videos over there on Truth, basically putting out a roadmap as to how he's going to govern the American people when he becomes president of the United States again in 2024, which I'm pretty sure he's going to be. Now, so what he's doing is he's putting out these short videos, and this particular video is basically going into saving the children from the woke indoctrination of the left. And so let me have him go ahead and set this up for you, and I'll give my commentary in between there. So let's go ahead and get started with this next clip.
On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender affirming care. Ridiculous. A process that includes giving kids puberty blockers, mutating their physical appearance, and ultimately performing surgery on minor children. Can you believe this? I will sign a new executive order instructing every federal agency to cease all programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transition at any age.
Wow, I tell you, that is music to my ears right there. Not the Sam Smith music. That's kind of gross. That's gonna get you problems. But anyways, that's music to my ears because, you know, the federal government should not be in the business of social engineering our children in the first place. Half the people or more over there in Washington have no moral compass in the first place. They have no business trying to push our children in any particular direction socially. What they need to do is do their job and stop worrying about, you know, our children and indoctrinating them, and start worrying about making sure that, I don't know, you lock up the borders, you put people in prison that's supposed to be there, law and order, that kind of stuff. Get out of the social engineering, because you're not good at it, and that's the job for the parents. That is my job as a father, my wife's job as a mother, to push our children into a direction that we feel is best for them and their future, not for the federal government. But let's go ahead and listen to more of what he's got to say about this, because I think it's going to get pretty good. I'm pretty excited about this.
I will then ask Congress to permanently stop federal taxpayer dollars from being used to promote or pay for these procedures, and pass a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. It'll go very quickly. I will declare that any hospital or healthcare provider that participates in the chemical or physical mutilation of minor youth will no longer meet federal health and safety standards for Medicaid and Medicare, and will be terminated from the program immediately. Furthermore, I will support the creation of a private right of action for victims to sue doctors who have unforgivably performed these procedures on minor children. The Department of Justice will investigate Big Pharma and the big hospital networks to determine whether they have deliberately covered up horrific long-term side effects of sex transitions in order to get rich at the expense of vulnerable patients.
Yeah, so what he's talking about there is very important because not only is the federal government, from what I understand, paying for these bottom surgeries, these sex change surgeries, but they're also manipulating these people into believing that number one, it's reversible, and number two, you're going to be, if you're a man and you get a bottom surgery, you're going to be just like a woman down there. And what they're finding is that is not the case. And what they should be doing in the first place, instead of racing to affirm their gender, is they should be trying to find out why they feel the way they do. But when they start going after these children, the ones that are 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, the tomboys, or the boys that play with dolls or whatever the cases are. That when they do that, that doesn't necessarily mean that they are one of the opposite sex. Meaning, like if you're a tomboy and you like playing baseball and wrestling, and I had a friend when I was younger. It was twins when I was about 8 or 9. They used to box. They used to have boxing gloves. Their dad gave them boxing gloves, and they would pretty much kick my ass all over the place. And but they weren't boys. They just enjoyed doing boy things. They would get on the go-kart with us and they would go play with the go-kart. They would rather do that than go play with Barbie dolls. But they grew up and they became beautiful ladies. They became beautiful women that had beautiful families. And that would have never happened in today's society. And so what's happening is these doctors are coming at these children and their insecurities over their over their sex, and what they're doing is they are monetizing this process, in which what they'll do is they will tell them that everything is reversible, everything's going to be okay, and the rest of your life will be glorious as soon as you get this tens of thousands or hundreds of $1,000s worth of surgery. And when they get it done, they find out that that's not the case. If either they're not happy and it didn't make them feel any better about themselves, or they're going to be obligated to see the doctor for the rest of their life to try to keep infections from happening and stuff like that. And they're just not being honest with people. A lot of times what these people need is they just need some counseling. So what he's talking about right here is very important, and we need to listen to it and take it seriously, because this is exactly what we need. We don't need these communists in here that we have in our federal government today. We don't need them coming in here and socially engineering our children in a way that makes them, number one, these people will never have kids again. They can change their mind, but they will never have kids again. When you chop off your boobs, when you chop off your junk, when you take out your ovaries and your uterus, you will never be able to put those back again. These people will be scarred for the rest of their life. Who is looking out for them?
We will also investigate whether Big Pharma or others have illegally marketed hormones and puberty blockers which are in no way licensed or approved for this use. My Department of Education will inform states and school districts that if any teacher or school official suggests to a child that they could be trapped in the wrong body, they will be faced with severe consequences, including potential civil rights violations for sex discrimination and the elimination of federal funding. As part of our new credentialing body for teachers, we will promote positive education about the nuclear family, the roles of mothers and fathers, and celebrating rather than erasing the things that make men and women different and unique. I will ask Congress to pass a bill establishing that the only genders recognized by the United States government are male and female, and they are assigned at birth.
Look, he's 100% correct. There is only male and female, and anybody who doesn't recognize that has a problem. I don't think half the people that are coming out talking about all these multiple genders and everything like that, I don't think half of them even believe what they're saying. But what it is it's infiltration. So they infiltrate your household through your child. And if they can corrupt your child, then they can corrupt your household. If they can upend the family, then they win. And he's exactly right that we cannot allow these Democrats to play word games, because this is what you get. You cannot let mentally ill people play word games with you or your child. Enough is enough when it comes to these Democrats and their yearning to destroy the family. And it's as simple as saying, yes, you're a woman. You have a part to play in this world. And yes, you are a man and you have a part to play in this world. And you may not be equal in all areas, but that's okay. Where you lack in one area, you make up for it in another area. And when you meet your mate, things will work themselves out. But creating all this confusion is destructive. And it's not just destructive to the family. It's destructive to the individual that is trying to figure out where they land in this world, who they are, especially when they're young. When they're young, they are the most impressionable. And when you are 5, 6, 7 years old, that's when you get all of your learning done. And they soak up all of this information, and they believe everything that's told to them. If you were to tell them that dragons were flying around 5 years ago and you had one as a pet, they would believe you. They would want to see pictures. They'd want to pet it. They would want to meet it. They do not have the ability to determine what is fact and what is not. That is up to the parents to teach them right from wrong, truth from fiction. And what Democrats and these liberals are doing, these communists, what they're doing is they're infiltrating your family through your child. And what they're doing is they are putting a wedge between you and your child, you and your son, you and your daughter. And we're allowing them to do this because what we're doing is we pay our taxes so that we can send our kids to school to get a good education, right? And we hope and we think that's what's happening. But they have a different agenda on the inside. You think the public school system is there to educate your children in arithmetic and language arts and all this other stuff? They're not. They're not. They are there to bring in the next wave of communism. That is what they're in there for. See, it wasn't always like that, but over time, when parents stopped paying attention because they were too busy with their job, they filled these positions that were available at these schools with people who were like-minded. And over time, it saturated the education system with like-minded people with the same goal, and that's disrupting your family. Basically, getting rid of the nuclear family. And that's the goal. Because if they can drive a wedge between you and your family, then communism is there. I hear people all the time talking about how communism is not so bad. I was arguing with one guy in the comments. He was telling me that communism has won everywhere it's fought. Everywhere communism has landed, it's won. Well, I made sure to point out to the guy that he's not very good at mathematics, because if that was true, there would be more than 4 or 5 communist countries in the United States, and he was wrong, 100% obviously. But everywhere there's been communism or socialism brings famine, poverty, death, but they ignore that. They act like if they were part of this system, the communist system that they're trying to bring forward, then everything would have worked out better. All these liberals, they think they're the smartest people on the earth. Well, I'm going to tell you, they're not. They're not any smarter than a box of rocks. I've met shiny boxes of rocks that have more common sense than these idiots have. But yet, these are the same people that are educating our children. And it's gotten into our medical system also. Our medical system, they're doing the same thing. They don't give a shit about your child. They don't give a shit about their well-being. All they care about is how are they going to squeeze a little bit more money out of you? How are they going to squeeze a little bit of money out of your insurance company? How are they going to be able to keep you coming back month after month or year after year to give them more money? That's why I say they're not interested in making you better. They're not interested in healing you. They want to get you just well enough to where you don't die, but you keep coming back for more. That's what they want. So let's listen to what else Donald Trump has to say, because I mean, this for me right here, this really hits home, and everything he said is just fire. It's just fire. And if he can do this, I mean, the liberals have basically ruined 1 to 2 generations of children. Ruined them. They're ruined. There is no fixing the problems that these youth are going to have. So what we have to do is we have to focus on the future and try as hard as we can to correct the mistakes that we've allowed the liberals to make with our children in these generations, these lost generations. But with that being said, let's go ahead and listen to what Donald Trump has to say. Let's finish this up.
The bill will also make clear that Title IX prohibits men from participating in women's sports, and we will protect the rights of parents from being forced to allow their minor child to assume a gender which is new and an identity without the parent's consent. The identity will not be new, and it will not be without parental consent. No serious country should be telling its children that they were born with the wrong gender, a concept that was never heard of in all of human history. Nobody's ever heard of this, what's happening today. It was all when the radical left invented it just a few years ago. Under my leadership, this madness will end. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I don't know how you can't agree with everything that Donald Trump just said there. It was only like a 3 or 4 minute video, and I dissected it, split it up a little bit. But I agree with pretty much everything that he said there. I mean, we have got to take the control back. These are our children. These aren't the government's children. And they never were, and I don't know at what point, I'm pretty sure it was Barack Obama, it takes a village type of a situation. Remember Barack Obama and Michael Obama, that's what they were saying, it takes a village. No, it doesn't take a village, it takes a family. And it takes not just your immediate family, but it takes, your extended family also, aunts, uncles, grandma, grandpa, but nowhere in there is the government. And they shouldn't be in there, because they have no vested interest in making sure that your child turns out to be well-mannered, good child, to grow up to be a great adult and be a good parent. That's not up to them. They don't get to decide. So I don't know why we're giving up all of our rights to them, and why we're assuming that they have all the answers, because if you look at most of their personal lives, they don't have the answers. They don't have the answers in their own lives. Look at Jerry Nadler. Look at, AOC. I mean, would you really want AOC raising your child? Would you give your child to AOC to raise? I wouldn't. Jerry Nadler? No. I don't think so. So, I agree with everything that Donald Trump says here. And he did a lot of great things when he was president. And I wish that he could have gotten more done. And if there wasn't so much resistance from the rhinos and so much resistance from the Democrats, he could have gotten a lot more done. But I think these last 2 years, the Democrats have really exposed themselves, and they have really shown their true colors and to what their real intentions are with you, the family, the United States, and the world. And they do not have our back. They are not rooting for the U.S. They are not rooting for your state or your city. They are not rooting for your family. They could care less. All they care about is money and power. All they care about is money and power, and that is the root of all evil. And that's why we need term limits. That's why we need to get the money out of politics. All money that goes into the hands of these politicians should be grassroots money. It shouldn't be big money like super PACs and big businesses. They shouldn't be allowed to donate at all. If you cannot sell your campaign on a normal amount of money, then you just shouldn't be doing it. If you have to spend millions and millions and millions of dollars, there's your problem. There's your problem. You're not a good candidate. And if we get the money out of the system, a lot of this stuff is going to fix itself. So I think he's going to be president again. I think he's going to be president in 2024. I believe that with all of my heart. Is there a chance that I could be wrong? Yes. I'm not I don't have a crystal ball, even though I have a bald head. Okay, I can't tell the future, so I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what the future holds for us, but I can tell you that I am not going to stop fighting, and I'm going to keep repeating this because I need everybody to understand this that's listening. That if you are silent, you are invisible. You don't exist. So stand up and be loud. I'm not saying you need to start up a YouTube channel or you need to go out there and protest every day. But if you can make a phone call to your congressman, to if you can make a phone call to the Supreme Court, if you can make a phone call, if you can stand up and preach the gospel of conservatism and to your friends and family, yes, does it create problems? Yes, but we have to do this. They are being loud and they're gaining ground because of that, because they are not invisible. They are a small group, but they are not invisible because they're loud. So I don't want to be invisible, so I'm going to be loud. And this is the way I'm being loud. And hopefully, I can get through to some people. I don't know. We'll have to see. I've spoken to a lot of people in the comments, and man, they're just angry. They don't want to have a discussion with you. They just want to beat you down and pretend that they have something. But when you ask them for facts, they don't have it. They don't have it. So it's like pissing upstream. You know what I mean? You're gonna get it on you. So you might as well not even try. But in the end, I think that Donald Trump is going to be president, and I think he is going to go down as the best president that we've ever had for the second time. And that right there gives me hope. And if you liked this video, folks, if you liked it, like and subscribe. If you have a different opinion on what I'm talking about, leave it down in the comments. And if you are not subscribed over there on Rumble, make sure you like and subscribe over there on Rumble too. Because when you like and subscribe, you never miss a video. And it triggers the algorithm so that way we get more play on YouTube or Rumble. So anyways, I hope that you guys liked the video. I will see you on the next video. You guys take it easy. Bye-bye.